I'm Arielle Weininger, Chief Curator of Collections and Exhibitions at the Illinois Holocaust Museum. And today we're going to go on a tour of some of the amazing stories of women highlighted in the Karkomi Holocaust Exhibition. Here we see Leah Guttman. She was at a Maccabi training camp where she lived inside of that tent. Leah was an athlete. She was from Białystok, Poland, and she was a very prominent athlete within both the Jewish community and the larger Polish community. But because of her Jewishness, she was only allowed to participate within Jewish sports at a certain point in time. So here we see Judy Kolb's red dress. The red dress was knit by Judy Kolb's grandmother. By 1941, 17,000 Jews were in the Shanghai area. Shanghai was interesting during the war period because you had to have a visa to leave, to go to Shanghai, but you didn't have to have an entry visa to stay in Shanghai. The Jews that were in Shanghai were ghettoized and had very limited resources. So Judy's grandmother made for her clothing, and so this is the dress that Judy has left from her time period in the Shanghai ghetto. So here we have a photograph of Ruth Rayb. She is stepping off the ship that brought her to New York. She traveled to the United States by herself, alone, across the ocean to secure affidavits for the rest of her family. She then got back on a ship, went across back to Europe to get the rest of her family. Because of the work that Ruth did, she was able to get the Rayb family out of Europe. So here we see the bra that was made by Hanna Messenger. Hanna made this bra in a labor camp that produced textiles. So Hanna clandestinely stole little bits of thread and textile to make herself a bra. During this time period when people were imprisoned in concentration camps, people looked for a way to make themselves feel more human. But also it was a level of comfort. It was a way to keep her warm. So here we see a photograph of Kate Lipner, and she was a Catholic. She lived in southern France. She had a lot of Jewish friends and was comfortable within the Jewish world. When it came to the Holocaust, Kate actually hid 3 children. When it became a little bit more well known that possibly Kate was hiding people in her apartment, a Nazi came to her door to check in on this story, and Kate actually shot that person. Down in the case here, we see one of the most interesting objects that we hold in the collection. This mandolin banjo was known to be owned by Masha Rappaport from when she was playing in the DP orchestra at Bergen-Belsen, when Bergen-Belsen, formerly a concentration camp, had been turned into a displaced persons camp. After liberation, many people stayed in Bergen-Belsen, and that is where Masha played this mandolin banjo, not as a prisoner and not forced to play, but for the enjoyment and for the raising of spirits of others in the DP camp.